Do you consider yourself a post-evangelical? Me personally, I don't, but a lot of my favorite people do. Bloggers like Rachel Held Evans and other writers who are exploring what it means to be a follower of Jesus in a country where evangelicalism has been thoroughly discredited. After more than a decade of wars and preemptive strikes and using religious language as a bludgeon against enemies and marginalizing all sorts of people in the name of religion, so many in my generation and in other generations are really fed up with the evangelical brand. And so a lot of folks that grew up as evangelicals now are walking away from it. They're still Christians. A lot of them stay Christians, but they're not identifying with the mainstream evangelical church anymore. They're looking for something deeper, something different, something more radical. I'm hearing a lot of folks talk about radical Christianity these days in a way that just wasn't present a decade ago. I'm watching all this with a lot of interest because even though I personally don't identify as a post-evangelical, I feel like I come out of a post-evangelical community. I feel like I experienced the post-evangelical experience as a young child when my parents and my community were a part of a rupture, a strong disagreement, a break with the evangelical structures that we were a part of. And as a result of that break, of that transition out of the mainstream of evangelicalism, we discovered a movement of radical discipleship that we were being called into. And so it's really exciting for me to see other folks who are coming out of mainstream evangelicalism engaging with what it means to be a radical disciple of Jesus and what that could really mean for us, not just as religious people, but as disciples of Jesus, people who are trying to walk as Jesus walked and follow Him very literally as He commands us to. So I would just like to put the question out there to those of you who are watching. Do you consider yourself an evangelical, a post-evangelical, a radical Christian, a neo-Anabaptist? What kind of Christianity are you identifying with? Or have the last 10 years, the last 20 years of evangelical ascendancy and abuse of political authority, have those just turned you off to Christianity entirely? I want to hear what your response is, because me personally, I'm excited about what I'm seeing in terms of the re-embrace of a radical movement of discipleship and following Jesus without reservation. So go ahead and leave a comment. I want to hear from you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What's your experience of this?